Checking out of your hotel at 11 a.m. when you have a late flight out of the country sounds great in theory until you realize you have to drag your luggage around with you for the rest of the day. Absolutely wasn't planning on doing that. It's the final day of Wonder with Molola, the Basel edition, and I still had several hours to explore before my flight back to Manchester. So right after checking out, the first thing I did was drop my luggage off with Bounce. I've actually used the Bounce service before on my day trip to Milan, and it's become one of those travel services I genuinely find useful when I have a late flight or several hours between checkout and leaving a city. You can find luggage storage locations close to you, book them online, drop your bags off, and then collect them later. And I found a location that worked for my plans in Basel. I dropped off my bag, and just like that, I didn't have to spend my final day dragging a backpack around the city. So I had several luggage-free hours left in Basel, and the first priority for me was getting breakfast. Now, I'm not one person to fall for the TikTok hype, but I had been seeing a lot about cinnamon, and obviously I had to investigate. I went there, got a cinnamon roll and a latte, and I'm happy to report that TikTok actually got this one right. Win for you, TikTok. I finally headed to Drell and Drek, somewhere I'd wanted to see for years, and when I tell you I spent hours there, like literal hours. I've got a whole separate video explaining why this random geographical landmark made me ridiculously happy. Eventually, I made my way to Macthale for my final meal and had this delicious bowl of seafood pasta. It was filled with prawns, octopus, lobster, and it was really nice. Right after dinner, it was time to collect my luggage and head to the airport. Of course, in true travel fashion, my flight ended up being delayed because, when you're flying some of these airlines, they like to keep you humble. I eventually got back to Manchester at around 1 a.m. and that was the end of my final day in Basel. But we're not quite done with Wonder with Molola, the Basel edition yet, because Switzerland has a reputation for being very expensive, and somehow I managed to do this trip without completely destroying my bank account. So save this series and follow along, because next I'm sharing exactly how I traveled Switzerland on a budget, including sharing the biggest hack that saved me money.